Ordinals are dead. We are late. We had a bunch of turkey yesterday, and I got fat. And I don't know if you can tell, but I had to run a little bit today in my house in place at the desk while I was minting some stuff. The Ordinals Are Dead show is back, 5th week in a row.
Episode 5.
Episode 5. I think I just said that. If you were listening.
Yes.
What's your name?
Chad. What's up?
Nice to meet you,
What's up?
Chad. Are you a god or a goddess? What's up, dude?
God.
Sattributes is here, founder of Sattributes. Snoop Frog is his name. We're here, dead as a doornail. Dordinals?
Didnals.
Deadnals. Anyway, we're back. Sorry we're late. It's just the way it happens. Today was a show on Friday. Anyway, let's get right to it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was amazing. Yeah, I had a blast. Lots of fun with the fam.
Just the fam?
Just the family.
Was it a
yeah.
big fam? Was it like a
Yeah, we have
intimate?
a huge family. I have like I think 20 different uncles and aunts. So
Oh shit. A lot of fucking going on. A lot of bit fucking.
we have a big family. We have a huge family.
A lot of bit sex.
Yeah, I mean, so it was fun.
Jesus Christ. When they held you, did they go BitGod? Or did they go
Chad?
Do you want to name him Chad? No, fuck
Chad
this guy.
God.
This guy looks like he's going to be an orange flavored pill dropping MFer.
Yeah.
Nice to have
how was
you.
yours?
Dude, I went to a candlelit fucking large dinner yesterday in Silver Lake. We had a backyard concert. I just never been to a candlelit fucking turkey dinner, and it was amazing.
What's candlelit though? Like
It's just like
no lights.
There was lights. These guys have electricity, but there was candles. Like it was on fire. Like
That seems cool.
Green candles?
Oh, yeah,
Red
I have
candles.
pictures. I can share with you later. In fact,
What's the reasoning behind the candles though? Like
just because they're classy,
cooler.
they're artsy people,
Okay.
and it was
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I'm sure everybody wants to fucking hear about my candle at dinner. Listen, Sattributes, what's going on, man?
Yeah, good. I had a little first Thanksgiving over here in America. I was with Logic and JP and a bunch of Web3 people.
Oh,
About 20 of us. It was a good little shindig down Orange County way.
Oh, fantastic!
Fun.
It feels like we're international. You got the UK here. You got somebody from OC, which is an international state county in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Listen, let's get right to it. Thanks for joining us.
This is the first topic.
First topic, CZ out of Binance.
Ooh.
This was like last week, but we were going to do
Bullish.
the show on Tuesday because of holidays, whatever. CZ out of Binance, $4 billion fine. What does this mean for crypto? This is like
Bullish news. It's bullish. I've been
bullish.
saying this
Why
for a
is it
while.
bullish?
Now, there was no way the ETF would have happened with Binance at their market dominance. So the fact that CZ is now out shows that the old guard are in, the new guard are in, the old guard are out, and we're going to start moving forwards on this ETF, I think, sooner rather than later.
Interesting.
what?
I mean, listen, I sort of agree and disagree. I think that like even though there was a $4 billion fine, CZ is out of Binance. We were just talking about this previously, but like he still has majority control of the company.
Yeah.
And like even though he's out, I feel like it's just sort of like maybe a talking head as the CEO. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but like CZ ultimately still controls this company and can probably do whatever he wants with it.
Yeah, I think there's something in cahoots going on.
Yeah.
Also, it's bullish and
In
stuff like
cahoots
that.
with who, though?
Cahoots with the government and Gensler.
Well, it's,
Okay, interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Look at the timing as well. Like historically, every time you get towards Christmas, you get a nice little pump in the Bitcoin world. And yet we have a number of earth-shattering events on the way. We've got the halvening happening. We have this ETF rumors. We have ordinals now. We have a lot of things that have changed in the traditional Bitcoin cycle that I think is shaping up to be ultra bullish. So I'm feeling good about these next few months.
What do you think about for Laser Eyes? Do you think it's bullish? They fucking hate us. Most of them hate us. So is that bullish? Because like
They want the downfall of every centralized exchange out there. Meanwhile, like Coinbase and a number of these other exchanges probably played more of a hand than they ever will be in onboarding people to Bitcoin crypto.
okay, so
Like they hate Coinbase, right? Like I see this across the timeline. It's just like Brian Armstrong really, I think, brought crypto into somewhat of the mainstream in the U.S. at least, and Binance probably on the eastern side of the world.
okay, so let me ask you a question. What are Laser Eyes doing that promotes more
Nothing.
Bitcoin? Nothing,
They're
right?
doing Bitcoin podcasts. That's it.
Are they as good as this?
No.
I'm not saying that we're the best, but I'm just saying I'm here and you're here, and wait.
Well,
I'm
we
getting
actually have
confused.
like interesting things to talk about on a week-to-week basis. I don't know how much you can really do by just saying like Bitcoin is sound money. Like it's just like a drone. You know what I mean? Like,
Trevor put out a tweet earlier today. I like what he said. He's always pushing. I love that about him, and it's usually sound advice or sound iterations of what's possible. But you got BitPay and you got like Coinbase Wallet and stuff, like applications to just buy shit. I'm not even talking about ordinals. I'm talking about like everyday stuff. Like more applications like that, I think would be more in line with like what Laser Eye Maxis, like just the adoption of those things.
Laser eyes don't like spending Bitcoin. So even if they could, they're not going to. And that's therein lies the problem. What we need are reasons to buy with Bitcoin and things to buy with Bitcoin that
Well, that's what I was
necessarily
saying.
be on fiat.
I think more applications that like everyday things that you can just buy. Like if I didn't have to convert my fucking Bitcoin to USD, like anybody would be happy about that.
The way I look at it is there's no surprise that Bitcoin's a store of value. We all know this, and yet some of us have chosen to buy in, others haven't. But what we saw with ETH NFTs, where there was a lot of people who were willing to buy ETH for the first time, not because they believed in Ethereum as a network, but because they wanted to collect digital assets. So I think we're going to see the same thing happening with Ordinals. It'll spur on a new breed of collectors. People who simply weren't interested in Bitcoin as a store of value, they're now going to be interested in, actually, I want to collect some cool stuff. I like that artist, you know?
You know, I was just reading a tweet in response to Trevor's tweet, Violetta Zeroni, who we love, right?
Oh, she's amazing.
Great.
She was saying she believes, I just love her attitude, great voice, but she says she believes music is going to be the way that leads that. What do you think? We talked about this last week. Like, is it gaming? Is it like just art, or is it like
I think
just applications?
But music is a form of art, right? So
that's of course.
I think the biggest problem is going to be with music sort of leading that way, at least on the Ordinal side, the file size. Like, that's a huge hurdle to get over. And I honestly, I'm curious. I actually have I think a call set up with like Violetta, I think for like next week.
Oh, wow.
I want to see like what she
jealous.
did with
I'm jealous.
with her project, because I know she inscribed a pretty large file of one of her pieces. I'm curious like how that happened, what the compression is like, but I just think that the biggest barrier to entry is going to be the file size. Music files are huge, and like just compressing it.
Are we ever going to figure that out?
Well, again, I think it's going to be how we look at it. I think if we just look at taking music as it exists today, maybe not, but I think it's going to spur on a new way of looking at how you put music on chain. And I think when we look at, again, ETH NFTs, music never really found their home successfully on ETH, but I think it will find its home. I don't know if we know what the killer app is yet, but I think this notion of sample packs, being able to use recursion for some popular sample packs that are on chain, allowing you to automatically collaborate as an artist with someone who you may just purchase sort of a recursive piece from, I think is an interesting way you could look at it.
Yeah, I think it's not like, people got to stop thinking about just the song. The song is like the finished piece, like no piece of art is really ever finished, but like in this particular case, like especially music, never really finished, because those artists, when they go live, they're actually adding new iterations to the melody. You see it all the time, like live versions of your favorite band. You're like, wow, they don't sing it that way in the studio. Nah, motherfucker, because they're growing as artists, right? So my point is that it can't just be about the song. It's got to be with additional packages, like you're saying, in some instances. Anyway, let's move on to NodeMonks. All right, so NodeMonks did a redirect. Last week, I had done a video with Fez, and everybody also knows the fact that there was no whitelist. They turned down $5 million VC funding, but now there actually is a whitelist to have founders prompted to give charitable charitable donations, checking in with their community to see how many they would allot, but it's on the founder's dime,
right?
Basically,
which is on the founder's dime. It's on potentially the whole project if they want to pool funds, right?
Yeah,
it could be a number of different things.
Okay, so is this a good strategy to get founders to pay for their community to have spots? Like, what do you think about this in general?
I think.
Yeah, go ahead, Seth.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's a new strategy, and I like it. I think given market sentiment and liquidity at the moment, I think it's a genius idea, in all honesty. It's sort of a Robin Hood, take from projects that do have and distribute to a community to build. And I think it's an interesting model. I think it's clever in a whole number of ways, but go on.
Well, the NodeMonks they're a lovely bunch. I've talked. I don't know who they are. It turns out one of you guys knows, and Butoshi knows. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care about that. It's more about how they're handling things, and I just like what's going on. But it's very interesting. Like my team was talking about, like, what are we doing? What do you want to do? Do you want to do this and stuff like that? And we're seeing chats of like, what would you guys be willing to pay for these spots? And it's so interestingly enough, it's not necessarily a free mint in a way.
It's not, but I guess.
But it's kind of an ingenious reverse engineer
mean,
of like, look, they're basically, they want to go through the submissions to sort of like extricate any grinders or any bad actors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I think it's a really interesting, sort of method. I don't think I've ever seen something like that before. But I think what you will see as maybe time goes on is it seems like a really logistical sort of nightmare in having to collect and figure out and confirm these people are actually donating to the potential donation sort of location they're supposed to, and not just like to their friend or not just back to themselves. It seems like a logistical nightmare, but it seems like they also have it sort of handled.
They
maybe have thought through this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that it really works out, and I just hope as well, like with this, I think there's going to be potentially a lot of scams, because I think there's going to be some communities that are like, hey, like we're going to get X amount of spots, let's pool our funds together, and end up just keeping the funds and running away or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's the hottest thing right now in Ordinals.
It certainly is. It's one of the hottest things for something that hasn't minted and that is going to soon. I think by December sometime. Definitely not during Basil, Node Monks. This is an order. This is very difficult to mint stuff when you are doing Molly on the dance floor at 4 a.m. I don't do that. I'm just saying, like one person.
You would never do that.
I don't even. I'm sober, dude.
Yeah.
I think you bring up a good point, but let's move on.
Yeah.
What about? I want to move on to OG General. Now, did you hear what happened?
The legend, man.
Okay. Did you OG General? Okay.
The OG.
We got to do our little flippity flap. So, OG General is an ape. He has a general. It's an ape. It looks like a general, whatever. I think he had like a modicum amount of followers. Doesn't really matter. But this guy. So we happen to know him from like the Meme Land MVP. He's a huge investor. He has one of the largest. I think he has the largest. He has like 10 MVPs, which is a 69. I'm not trying to shill your bags. I'm just telling the story. Okay, 69 ETH floor in MVPs right now. I think he has 10 of them. He has like 10 super crews, which generates like points and maps, and which generates to meme coin evaluation and allocations and stuff like that. He's one of the largest other deed holders.
He has some Bitcoin.
He has some Bitcoin. So somebody that I know, we know him, and we talked to him about Ordinals, and we basically talked to him about which projects, and we did mention ours and stuff like that. It wasn't important, but we wanted to introduce, like, we love to talk to people that have interest or even big wallets. We don't get anything from it. So we told him about OMB. We told him about Bitcoin Rocks. We told him about Nullish. We told him about these other things, and I think he has a handler and stuff like that. Totally giving away a lot of alpha. Who doesn't fucking matter? People know about it. You actually tweeted about it, so I'm not apologizing. So anyway, we're really thankful. And then he just fucking started a little bull run and just bought like everything. And
OMBs are still on a little run right now.
I don't like to talk about the floor, but the OMB floor, go check it. I mean, that was not like that 3 or 4 days ago. No. And it's just super exciting. So my question is, what do you guys think about this?
Well, do you remember?
And it's the way he's tweeting. People think he's a legend, so it's obviously triggered something.
Yeah.
And
well, listen. I mean, like, you remember when VVD, like back in 2021?
Is that a disease?
No, Vincent Van Gogh.
Oh yeah.
Like he swept, or he didn't sweep. Like he bought, like I think close to like what TPB can hear, like $5 million worth of stuff, and like kicked off some sort of run on art, on just a number of different things. Like this seems to be somewhat similar to that, right? Like I don't know how much he ended up spending. Right? What it was like 2 Bitcoin Rocks. It was 7 or 8 OMBs now.
No,
so far.
It's probably like 10 to 15 OMBs.
I mean, what are we gonna say? Like that's like 30 Bitcoin total?
I was guesstimating like 25
so how much
or 30.
Is that though? I don't know.
30. That's I don't know, but he
600K or so, right?
Yeah, he thanked Meme Land and Meme Coin because of course of his huge bag. Meme Coin has been good to a lot of the people that have waited a year and a half for this drop, and he just loved. And he bought a Mickey Mouse looking OMB, and he said this beautiful story about his kids were next to him, and they were like, it's Christmas time, and it was just fucking.
He got OCMs as well.
It was just so sweet. Yeah. This guy's a sweet guy.
Yeah.
Just dropping fucking cheddar on the chain. You know what I mean? Fucking just throwing it around.
And then, of course, the compounding effects that come from that, right?
Like,
he's seen as probably like somewhat of a leader.
Oh, even ZK loves it. I mean, because like, listen, ZK says like not OMB or whatever. Any project is not for anybody. But he's a big proponent of like, this ain't for you.
Yeah.
Read the shit. Look at the art. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. If you do, fuck with us. That's it. It's like get all the way in, get all the way out.
Yep.
Mr. Miyagi, walk on left road safe, walk on right road safe. Walk in middle, get squished just like a fucking grape. So anyway, is that all we got to say about OG General?
Well, I think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Well, it's going to be more. I think he's representative of another community that are beginning to find out about this, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more sweeps like that over the next few months. I know that I'm in enough ape channels and I'm hearing murmurs of what's happening over in Ordinals. And we've all known we're early. We've all known we're fucking early. But now gradually people are beginning to realize that they're going to think that they're early.
Yeah.
I just don't make these, like, I have a lot of ape friends that are DMing me. They're just like, hey, or other friends that are outside of apes. They're just like, hey, what is that? Where can I go? And I'm like, hey, maybe go here. And you got to get in a group and just like be together and learn every day. Like, it's just like, I never go, oh, now you want to, I don't give a fuck about that.
It's
like I don't get.
All over again. They got to learn the ropes.
Yeah, we all had to,
Yeah.
So I just like when people are inviting, like, listen, you want to fuck with us? This is how we do it over here. This is what's going on. So what's going on here? Let's see.
So OG General, like, just to close that out.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting sort of sweep. I mean, if he obviously made like 8 from meme, he's probably got more sort of dry powder.
There's only 16 to 20% allocation of that 8 mil of meme.
Is that it?
So sorry to pump your backs. But
so there's
is that
obviously, you know what I mean? So there's obviously, or I shouldn't say obviously, but he could potentially sweep just the same amount over these next week or
I think he's dude, everybody's helping him, and I don't think they're just trying to extract. They're just saying, hey, that's amazing. And of course, and a lot of the people we know in ordinal space, they ain't going anywhere. Like, meaning, like, they're going somewhere in life. They're just not going anywhere out of the eco. They're not going anywhere.
I don't know about that. We're all fucking crazy. We're all fucking crazy.
Ordinals are so fucking dead. Nobody's going anywhere. Is that the? So
I think that's the end of that.
That's the end of that. Okay.
We love you, OG General.
So how about the 7-day ordinal minting and trading on the Bitcoin network?
God.
Contributes to the spike. Ethereum's average fee currently stands at $7.50. That's guesstimating right here.
Yeah.
So you wrote this down.
No, but I was going to say before we get to that one.
Okay.
If you look at the trading volume, and of course this includes BRC20.
Yeah.
So we need some sort of like data scraper that sort of takes maybe that volume out.
Who's got the data scraper? Please DM it and fucking tweet about it and tag us so we fucking know.
But I think we've done about double, or no, it was about like 30 to 40% more in volume in the past 7 days than ETH. Right,
Nice.
so we've done about 160 million or so in volume.
Yeah.
And of course, ETH has done about 75, I think, or so.
Yeah.
Which is really, I think, the first time that we've seen that. Right? There was, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we saw the first day ever where Ordinals surpassed, of course, Ethereum in daily volumes. But now we're seeing 7 days.
Yeah.
That have sustained larger than
What's
ETH.
happening? There's some things happening on Sol too. Some of these coins that have been coming. What are they? Sol 20s.
The inscriptions, yeah.
The inscriptions,
Oh yeah, we didn't add that as a topic. But
I don't.
That's such a cool topic. We could just add it in right
now.
now.
No, add it in right now.
Like
anyway,
basically everyone is copying inscriptions.
Yep.
Everyone.
They're copying inscriptions.
Yeah.
Didn't Chartfood do one?
What
did he do?
I just mean more so like every single chain is trying to do their own thing with inscriptions.
No, but I'm talking about
But yes, Chartfood did do.
He did one yesterday. Didn't free Kook? Didn't Kook do one today?
I'm not sure.
He did something. I don't know if it's a Sol 20 or whatever he did, but he's cooking.
It's like SRC20, but yeah.
He's been cooking. So I'm wondering what, like, because a lot of BTC MFers they fuck with Sol. They kind of skip over ETH.
Doginals, right? You have
Doginals.
But yeah, I mean, Satchibutes, I would love to hear your take on every other chain copying inscriptions.
I mean, it's nice that they see a new shiny thing and they want to adopt it themselves. I think they're probably butthurt that they didn't think of it first.
Yeah.
But yeah, fine. ETH-scriptions were a thing for a while, and I mean, it's fragmentation of new technology, and anyone who's seen something cool is going to want to give it their own flair. And so, good on them for trying, but ultimately, put it on Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Sol can use its help. I love Sol, but like, I mean, the fucking, but the traders there, dude. Talk about the biggest jeeters in the world. I mean, what's going on there?
I mean, yeah, no, but
You know.
one thing I will say, I put out a tweet, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that like every chain can copy, of course, inscriptions, but no one can copy rare satoshis.
No. Oh, dude,
Right?
that was devastating.
Right? That's
I felt the wind come through the fucking
But that's a killer one, right? Like, okay, cool, you have inscriptions. What about uncommons?
Yep.
We don't have those. What about block 9s?
What about those 286s?
286s, maybe?
Sorry, I got to shout out our friend Adza, that Aussie sick cunt, mate. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that. That means legend in Aussie.
Yep.
Don't really care. But Adza, dude, I think he scored the biggest. He deserves it because that's all he does is hunt. He's a crocodile sat hunter.
It's more than just hunting, because not only did he hunt the sats and realize there may be some significance to this block, he then went on a rampage to do his due diligence to find out and to verify, in fact, that the wallet that received these satoshis was in fact the same wallet that was in conversation with Nakamoto to receive what we believe to be the second transaction.
Yep.
And so this is pretty significant stuff. I mean,
But
literally,
not only that, right? Obviously, Snoop, you helped him as well, right? In sort of like, I'm sure you were like, oh,
what did you
shit,
do?
like, this
What
is
did you
really
do,
cool.
Snoop?
I'm
Obviously, he
I'm
has
just
to-
a guy. That's all I'm going to say. I'm
You
just
wrote
a
just
guy.
frogs on the internet.
That's exactly it.
No, dude, this fucking, I'm Barbara Walters. Spill the fucking guts, man. We have a fucking show here. What happened? Tell us what happened.
I don't know. I like to say I'm a muse. That's all I'll say.
All right, there's the door. There's the Ordinal.
As there is, again, he's one of
let
the
you stay,
greatest
though.
sat
We'll
hunters.
let
Oh,
out
well,
there.
let me stay. You know, I get senior citizens discount.
Well, I've got to believe that Ads is going to be one of these sat hunters that you keep an eye on. It's the sort of thing that I believe this is one sat he's found, but it's going to keep coming. He'll find another and another sat attribute because this space needs more sat attributes.
So if you're looking for a deal, he's making deals, but you can DM one of us. We want him to hunt.
Yes.
We need him to hunt
It was
for
added to Magisat as well, though.
the rare
It was
sot.
added to
All
Magisat.
quarries already seen has been added to Magisat.
yeah.
Fucking lightning fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it was added. 286 was added to, of course, the block we're talking about was added to Magisat just this past week as well.
Yep.
And so if you're looking for those, I guess we're shilling our bags now. But if you're looking for those specific ones, you can go to magisat.com/286. No, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right link, but
Yeah, just wanted to say that Ads he fell into a gold mine, and I think there's only 5 million to date that's in circulation, and I think he sequestered like 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Anyway, he probably hates that I'm saying that, but I don't give a fuck. I do give a fuck, actually.
It's fascinating.
All right, so what is this? You get a moon. What is that?
I wrote that, right?
Okay,
I mean,
you
one of
wrote
the
that.
topics.
That's great,
But
right?
No, the reason I wrote it is like what you saw, of course, over these past 2 to 3 weeks. Different BRC 20 mints. Sophon was turned off. Bitcoin frogs made a run. Goosenals. Anything you basically minted over these past couple weeks was pretty good, as well as like stuff I've held since March.
A long time ago.
Like, I don't know if you saw the monochromes.
Yes, of course I did.
10 of those, and I'm like, what's going on here? And was able to make a little.
My team started buying the apes for some reason.
Okay.
The ape art on those, they were a little bit higher floor, but I was like, oh, God, every time they buy something, I'm just like, stop it, because I'm like buying it, and I'm like, oh, fuck, and I'm just like, guys, stop it, But Butoshi, our lovely friend who's not here this week, he was tweeting yesterday about not Sophon, even though he's a Sophon lover. He was talking about how a great project, let's say OMB, whatever, any other project also, that derivatives will come up, and then those derivatives will kind of rise, but the allegiance to the original project will go up, astronomically. So he was just saying, he was calling the derivatives your inscription altcoins, which is kind of an interesting way to look at that. But I mean, right now, I feel like we're sort of stuck though. Like, it's hard to inscribe a bunch of things as collections right now. So what are we doing? We're just. I love waiting. I'm okay with what I have. I don't even really check floor prices. I don't really care about that. I mean, I do care, but I don't give a fuck, because these are like, the projects that I'm in are ones that I don't like.
Well, that's what I was calling the degen ordinals phenomena, right? Where you're not able to inscribe stuff because it's so expensive, and so you're left with mostly what is just already there, right? And that's why I think a lot of these collections that we've held for months, like monochromes is like specifically one of the most vivid examples, somehow made a run to like 0.007 or something like that after being at like $0 since March or April.
I like that team. They're into music.
Yeah.
I think I spoke with one of them, and I listened to both their albums. I'm like, I just like this team because the art and also their music, and they whatever, and it was inexpensive.
Yeah.
But
so it's almost like if you've inscribed stuff already for your collection, you're in a really good position, right? Because as fees get really high, the barrier to entry is of course way too high for the majority of people. And so you're competing really with just existing collections, not new collections that are trying to take advantage of the hype just because of that increased cost.
Yeah. And of course, prices would have to scale accordingly to, like, if it's going to cost like $1,000 to inscribe this one thing, you should price accordingly.
It's supply and demand.
Yeah.
So if no one can inscribe as we're inscribing today, or it's infeasible for the vast majority of people, then of course degen's got a degen, and they're going to find anything that they'll be able to plow into and have some fun with.
Yeah.
So a lot of these old projects, these old rugs that we all purchased and actually never thought anything would happen, they will see a new lease of life depending on how long these high network fees last. Then it opens up another question, which is, are we ready for mass adoption? Are we ready to bring the masses in yet? Can the network handle it?
I don't think we're ready for mass adoption.
I don't think any chain is ready for mass adoption.
We're not even close. Why even talk about the word mass? That sounds like a fucking cancer.
There was actually someone, I think his name's GigaChad Pepe. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
Is that your cousin?
No, he's not. Well, he should be, honestly.
Seriously.
And we have a similar PFP, but he's, I think, a part of like AOTM. So Began probably knows of him. He had a long thread, though, talking about, I think this specifically. He's just like, we're nowhere near mass adoption. And I think that people that even focus on that are just so far gone. Like, they don't even know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something you throw out there. We need mass adoption.
No.
We don't. There's nothing behind that.
We could be on a track towards the best practices towards that, but like, I think we're just, dude, it's like we're just finding out that we can take our ancestors' bones, sharpen them, and make weapons out of them. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Just like, let's relax a little bit.
Let's chill for a second.
It's like in Hollywood. It's like, hurry up and wait. That's how it is in Hollywood. Do you understand what that means?
Yeah, I mean that's what I've heard as well for like the military.
Oh, really?
So not only Hollywood, but like the military as well.
Oh, really?
Like, hurry up and just wait around, right? Just sit around.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not Hollywood then.
No, it's both.
Fuck
it
me.
could be Hollywood and military as well.
Okay.
Like,
Did you go to the military?
No, I didn't. Like, I just have a couple of military friends.
Fucking anti-patriot. fucking bit.
Military god.
MitGod. So what's okay?
But no, I think his attributes, obviously, he went into this sort of next topic. I would just
sorry.
like to hear
Go ahead, Sexy.
His specific point on, are we ready?
I mean, yeah. Okay, maybe you're right. Mass adoption is far, far away. Are we ready for more adoption? Because even so, it's been, these past 2 weeks have been eye-opening, to say the least. And yes, I remember in the glory days of 2021, we all spent astronomical amounts on gas on ETH. But I don't know. It's curious to see just how busy this network's gotten, just with the amount of people who are already here. So let's see when it's an order of magnitude more than that, which I think is reasonable to assume in the next year.
Yeah.
What's going to happen then?
Yeah. I think there's no rush. I think we're just all poised. We do this shit every day, like everybody else who's watching this or anybody else is trading. You do this every day. It's just like watching hair grow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, of course, there's emerging tech every day, but it's also, there's so much of it.
Yeah.
It's like watching hair grow. What's up, Rudy? Did you want some hair?
Yeah, I mean, I think
because I could use some.
There's some sort of products or projects that I know are working on trying to solve this problem, right? So I know like Bob Bodley is working on his project with Bionic. Which
we love you, Bob.
He actually responded to, I think, the tweet I had. Sort of forgetting. It's they're going to tokenize ordinals, and then you're going to be able to trade them on Bionic, right? I believe. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that. But that's a potential solution, right? And then there's somehow layer twos. Maybe you can wrap these assets. I don't know how exactly I feel about that, but like, there's definitely some projects and companies that I think are going to try and figure out this problem here, where hey, it's way too expensive, way too slow to be transacting, to be interacting with layer one.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a sort of different maneuver we can make or avenue we can go down.
You have a Twitter? You tweet?
No.
Oh.
Never heard of it.
I was going to follow you.
I'm on X.
You're on.
What are you on?
Douche, baby. Douche. Bing bong.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I think Beacon missed the bing bong.
What are you on? I forget. Who are you?
Beacon missed the bing bong.
Bing bong.
Hello? This is Troy talking, Ordinals Are Dead show. Casey? Nope. Fuck off. Nope. So the thing about bing bong is, let's get to Nakib.
Yeah.
So Nakib is this builder. He lives in Singapore. Sorry to dox you, Nakib. I think everybody knows. He just onboarded the Bali government to Ordinals. Why is this important? It's a whole fucking country.
Yep.
Preserving their collection of art via Ordinals. We've had a couple of spaces this week, and this is the start where they announced it. They showed the art, I think, with Tosio and Bitcoin whales. These Balinese artists, they did some iterations on the whales, and it's like pops the fuck off. There's about 100 of them, one of ones. They're going to do an auction, but it goes beyond that. That's just the starting point. But like they've already been talking to possible. I don't know if I could say this. I'll just end there. But like, why is this important? Because Nakeeb wants to go beyond this too, not just with. Anyway, so what do you guys think about that?
Ooh. I mean, government adoption is always a bullish sign. Certainly, a forward-thinking government understands that this is technology that needs to be leveraged to help their population. And so I think with the Bali government actually paying attention to Bitcoin in Ordinal specifically, I don't know, it's only a bullish thing.
I mean, he literally said to me, just on a space I was in, he says, just say my name when you get to Bali and the doors are open. So
It's the truth, though.
He literally walked in like I think some of one of the government officials was on the space, and
Probably.
like he,
Well, no, when what was it? Just Token 2049 happened in September.
Yes.
He shepherded, I think, Aaron and Casey and a lot of the OG Ordinals team, and I'm not sure if they got to meet with any of the government or anything like that. But what's his name? Nakeeb made sure to show them a great time. So he's very well connected there. And yeah, I think this is like Snoop said, I think it's a really great sign. I think like any government that's willing to take any leap, whether it's Ordinals or ETH or sort of any other chain, I think is a really interesting thing.
He's a family man. He's got a heart. I talked to him quite a bit. And he's just like, my daughter was she was like in the background, and he was saying hello to her. And it was during Thanksgiving Day. I talked to him on Thanksgiving Day yesterday.
Just a great guy.
I was like, and I just like what he's doing, and I can't wait to like work with him, help him out. Not that he needs the help, but like obviously I think he needs a big mouth like myself and maybe some of you guys. But I just think it's fucking incredible. I can't wait to go. So let's get into Q-Star, this AGI thing.
Yeah.
You want to prompt this?
Yeah, so
Let's prompt it. What we're talking about? Q-Star, the Q-Star project, OpenAI. But go ahead.
There's going to be a lot of speculation here because, of course, the only people that really know are the board and the employees, and I don't think anyone else really knows what's going on. But what it sounds like is that the team internally have developed a new version of ChatGPT, which is able to potentially teach itself or learn or adjust its weights, do something that allows it to course correct when it's generating responses. And this could be seen as quite a scary thing because, of course, then who knows where it's going to go from there. So it could be that step towards actually having AGI, an artificial intelligence that is general, that is more sort of that's smarter than a human in every conceivable way. So
the AGI, the general intelligence, is actually could be subservient to the ASI, like the super intelligent. I mean, isn't that? I mean, they're connected in some way, but like this is the first step towards the idea of having like a sentient AI, an AI that can think for itself and learn and teach itself. Yep. And I mean, if it is actually that, then it's both terrifying and amazing at the same time. So what are what other implications of this? I know Began is an accelerationist, right? Began, can you shout out?
Yeah,
yes,
baby.
Yes. So I guess some of us here are. We have an AI cabal here on Sundays at the IRL studio.
Well, yeah, I mean, but what it looks like though is some of the implications here for at least the board were that like Ilya is just a doomer, and we can't have any of that. I think we need to accelerate even faster, and I think that board specifically, again, like Snoop was saying, it's really unclear what actually happened, but it looks as though a lot of these safetyists, a lot of these people as a part of the board were just not having sort of Sam's accelerationist tendencies and wanted him out. And, Satya from Microsoft did not support that at all. And I think many of the employees didn't support it at all. And OpenAI would have probably gone down in a matter of a couple weeks, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they were looking to bring on board, whole sort of AI security focused. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but honestly, I welcome our AI overlords. They're not going to fuck it up any more than the humans are. So bring them on.
Well, I mean, are we going to die?
Right? No, not at all.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think.
I also think that he likes his own company better than rather having to go. It was toyed with that he was going to go work with Microsoft, right?
Well, yeah, I think that he would have had to, even though Microsoft has a lot of capability, he would have had to start. Not entirely over, but like just they have everything at OpenAI.
So I can imagine. I can imagine that he and Bill Gates probably wouldn't have gotten along after down the road. You know what I mean?
Gates
is probably not even real anyway.
This is Game of Thrones type stuff going on here. Yeah. Just bear in mind, so when Facebook acquired Oculus, exactly the same thing happened, but the founder, Palmer Luckey, young chap, was ostracized. I mean, yeah, he did a bit of shit posting, admittedly, but he was pushed out so that the new lackeys would come in that would be more in line with what Facebook wanted, what Meta wanted, because they saw Oculus as the next mobile platform shift, and Zuckerberg, who'd missed the mobile phones, desperately wanted to make sure he didn't miss out on the next mobile tech shift. So they saw a demo on Friday, wasn't even the Oculus demo, it was a Valve demo, and they acquired the company by the Monday. And a whole shitstorm ensued after that. And so to me, this is now just a crossover episode of Silicon Valley and Game of Thrones, where you have the fight for the next Google. Because if Microsoft play their cards right, they will have the technology that will be Google. And that will be the main reason why they will become the next $5 trillion company. You know, and I think this is what's unfolding in front of our very eyes on a day-to-day basis, and it's absolutely fascinating to see which way the space is going.
So you have Game of Thrones, then you have you know, Singularity comes to mind, obviously. So how are we feeling about that? I mean, I know how I feel about it.
I'm bullish on AI again. I'm unbullish on people. So I think get the computers to make a lot of decisions.
Get rid of some people. Some people might think that guy is me, and that's okay. That's your opinion, and maybe I will leave this earth and come back as your sentient being that you can just jam words and prompts into my mouth. What? So
just jam things in your mouth. Yeah.
So
Ordinals.
So are we done with that one?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Let's fucking move.
Yeah.
All right. So this leads to this call to action.
Yes.
Came up
Yeah.
with.
So okay, all things considered, now
Listen up.
this space is evolving so quickly. There's such a wealth of information that is quite difficult to get your hands on at any given moment in time. And through our conversations that we're having today, we realized what we need is an Ordinal GPT, something that is a living, breathing being, if you will, that knows everything that is happening in the space, both historically but also on a day-to-day basis. So we're going to put this initiative together. And what we're going to ask as a call to action is any founders, any builders, any creatives, any artists in the space, would you please be able to share with us? And we've actually made Ordinal GPT as a Twitter account that has a link to a Google form where you could submit any information that you want about your project, your creations, your technology. Because if we keep this up to date, then we can provide a public GPT, an Ordinal GPT to anyone, and they will be able to learn about the latest goings on. And so we can take it upon ourselves to keep that thing up to date. But we would look to you, the communities and the project founders, to send that information to us so that we can make this thing understand the space on a day-to-day basis. And again, everything from links and articles and websites, anything at all, will help make this thing understand this ordinal space and specific individual projects really well. So
fantastic. Where do we submit?
Yeah, so there is a Google form link. We created a Twitter account, Ordinal GPT. So just look for Ordinal GPT on Twitter, on X, I should say, and you'll see a link to the Google form. So just hammer as much information you can into that Google form, and we'll then add that into the GPT, and we'll tweet the link out later.
Should they mention anything? Is it what is the form requirements like?
Honestly, you don't need to mention anything. The more information you can give, the better. So if you're familiar with how GPTs work, we're having a living document we can continue to update with up-to-date information on a day-to-day basis. So anything that was put online after April 23 isn't understood by ChatGPT, and of course a lot of things are happening in Ordinals after that date. Yep. So we need to have this repo, the central repo that has everything in one location. So is there a drop coming up? Great. Who's the drop by? What's the link? What's the web? All of these pieces of information we can curate and we can put into a GPT that then makes it easier for new people coming on. And it doesn't just need to be about projects. I mean, if you want to learn how to do inscriptions, we can feed in all of the OCM stuff. We can feed in all of the information that people may need to know about 3JS, P5JS, all of the things that would be useful for individuals to use. To me, this is the number one resource that I think could be really, really helpful for any new people coming into the space.
Yeah. Digital boner, Bing Bong,
Ordinal
Bing.
GPT.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Hello, this is Troy speaking. Ordinals Are Dead. Casey, I guess you were watching the show. Yeah. You wouldn't even, you're a genius, but you didn't even think of that. Snoop Dogg thought of that. He thought of that. Yeah. So
yes.
We're kind of I don't know, it's like us 1, you 0. No, really thank you for Ordinal Theory, though, because, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. But this is actually, let me fly. Casey, I got to go. Yeah.
Bye, Casey.
You text me later. Cheers, bye. Text me on the red phone, because I get the text message out of this old phone.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cheers.
So one last time, Ordinal GPT.
Ordinal GPT.
Ordinal GPT, mate. Yeah, UK, mate. Yeah, all right. Isn't it?
The Google form.
Google form.
Yep.
Google form. I'm excited, man. I'm seriously, digital boner, definitely. So What about this? We're just moving around, pivoting. Earlier this week, wash trade. I sound like a fucking newscast. Earlier this week on the news,
Yesterday.
wash trading on Ordinal Collection on OKX. I don't give a fuck about this platform, but it has 0 fees, and then 3 media outlets
Covered it.
Like they fell for the scam in terms of reporting the $2.5 million digital Van Gogh sales that were going on. So. What? This hurts. This ain't fun. Fun for whoever was doing it. How damaging is this? It's old news, but like this type of stuff doesn't really help us at all.
No, it doesn't help. But I think the biggest problem, and we were chatting about it earlier, is how do you actually stop this stuff, right? In permissionless networks, it's just really difficult to stop. It's really difficult to, I think, accurately track.
Yeah.
And I think it was actually caught on to pretty quickly by Leonidas and some others that called it out. But this stuff happens on a day-to-day basis in every single ecosystem that we know of.
Well, it certainly happens in the fine art world. That's literally what most of that, the engine of that world usually runs on that. Mm-hmm. But here, public ledger, permissionless, this, I mean, look, it went away. It's going to continue. It made the news, but reporters need to slow down and not report. And take a breath here in a second.
We'll probably like reach out to the founders of the project and like, hey, who are you guys?
Yeah, they're like the Ord Core Council. Like there should be 20 people. Like check in. Hey, is this news? Well, we got to check in. We'll let you know. But I mean, other than that, I don't know how damaging this is. It's always, anything that can help us. This isn't it. You know what I mean? So Laser Eye Maxis, I agree with you here, but. Fuck you. Ordinals here to stay. Ordinals versus Laser Eye Maxis debate. Can Bitcoin handle it? I tend to agree with the pain POV of Laser Eyes, but sometimes. But can Casey just stop Ordinals? Or is a fork the answer?
He probably could, and I think there would be a fork ultimately. I think to this point, it's really funny. There was a tweet, or actually a Noster. I don't know if you know what Noster is.
Yeah.
It's like the
NOSTR.
Bitcoin decentralized.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think someone put on there a Laser-Eyed Maxi. They put a screenshot of where the mempool was at, and it was like at the tippy top. It was like 250 sats per day. and this tweet just goes, "I fucking hate Ordinals." And I just think that's hilarious, right? Mm-hmm. It's hilarious because Laser-Eyed Maxis hate it. But who really likes it is the miners.
The miners love
right?
it.
The miners absolutely love it. And also what's funny is a lot of those miners are probably Bitcoin maxis themselves. And so they're caught in between this philosophical sort of argument that they've been probably making for a long time.
We could use some tweets from some miners.
We could, absolutely. I think Luxor and Nick and Charlie Spears are the only miners we really know of that are out there.
This sounds like, listen, I think they have some points here, but this sounds like my music friends who just fucking hate Web3 and they think people steal and they just don't want anything to do with it. They think it's all a scam. I'm just like, you're going to end up like Charlie Chaplin making silent films when everybody's talking on this fucking film. And listen, but I understand. They have morals. I get it.
He had an Essex accent, though.
What's that?
Didn't he have an Essex accent?
He did. He had a little bit high, kind of talk like this. He had a high thing. I remember.
That's probably why I didn't
like
So let's get to this OMB book, Ordinal Maxi Biz, this book that's coming out. Well, I don't want to talk about the floor price.
Well, what's interesting is we put the floor price this morning, and it's now almost double that?
Yeah. We did it as reference, but this book I'm interested in. How do we get this book? There's a basis, I think, of okay, first of all, what's in the book?
Delist your shit.
Okay, so Ordinal Maxi Biz project with ZK Shark and Tony O'Hara, who did the art.
And Isabel, too?
Isabel, she's a big part of the team, does the bounty program. Isn't Chartfu a part of the team in some way?
I don't think so.
Doesn't matter.
No, I don't think so.
Doesn't matter. We love Chartfu. I know he's the core dev for Bitcoin Bandits, but whatever, and works with Magic Eden. But this book is sick. And Tony, he was dealing stuff on the Silk Road. He's a graffiti artist, and he's got a great fucking story. I mean, it's not just great; it's just goes deep. But this book is littered with a lot of that. His art and stuff, and sort of the what's it called, the credo, or the I don't know, the sort of messaging and mission of am I getting this wrong?
Yeah, I think so. And I think
You think I'm getting it wrong?
No, I'm sorry, you're getting it right.
Fuck off, man. I hope if I'm getting it wrong, I'll apologize, but I just want to make sure.
You're somewhat right. I think it's just what we know
I hope I'm getting it wrong.
now is what the way you could have gotten it earlier than anyone else was in Amsterdam, right? They had that private OMB dinner.
The dinner.
Yes.
And I believe everyone that was there got a book. And I don't know anyone after that's gotten a book.
No.
Yeah.
I've heard there are 2 keys in a couple of the books, though, that have a little something to be found.
He tweeted, ZK tweeted something today. It was just a wallet address.
Interesting.
So people, it was just like,
Let's
like
see what's in there.
10 minutes before the show, I was like, what is that? And people are like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh, we got to do a show. So I'm wondering if that's connected. It probably is. I don't know. Who knows?
We'll find out
but I
after.
think that you have 3, if you have 3 OMBs, any color, like you have green eyes, which are the biggest allocation. Then you have 100 of blue and of red, which are the rarest. And I think you have any combination of 3, I think you're getting a book. I think. But go in the Discord if you can. It doesn't really matter. But I'm really excited about this. It's physical. It's it's monumental. We love the project. It doesn't feel like a project. It just feels.
And you got to delist,
like
I think, before
you have to
December the
delist.
7th,
Oh, I never
think it
list.
was.
But it's definitely a movement of some sorts. You'll see that on the timeline. Which reminds me, I love story. I love narrative. These Bitcoin letters by, speaking of Isabel Fox and Duke. We love her. She, to me, I told her in Marfa and I told her in Amsterdam, I said, you're the funniest girl in Bitcoin. And she blushed because I meant it. She is like, when you see her orange pilling people, she's not even really doing it. She's just got that all-American face. She's super funny. She knows what she's talking about. She was Casey's right-hand man. She's in the nest of everything. So Rock Toshi and Ordinali were collaborators on her Bitcoin letters. She inscribed about, 21 letters? Yep. Short narrative stories with art accompanying it. Really like deep sort of, just iterations and it was really thoughtful. I think it was sub 100K inscribed, like early on. She just decided to release them now. And so Nali inscribed it, Ordinali inscribed it. Raktoshi was the editor of the writing. I'm just reading through this. Nick Hansen, CEO from Luxor, bought one. Inscribed Pepe's Beezy got one. He Ord reporter for Galaxy Night. Unbroken Chain Fund, First Liquid Ordinals Trading Fund. They run Bitcoin Magazine's fund. Just acquired one for their treasury. Neuro and Protocol contributor. He got
Ordinals,
one.
yep.
Brizzy got one. Mixala, earliest Ord investor of all time.
Damn.
Second Bitcoin rock ever he got. Casey, Raph, Ordinali, and Raktoshi were all gifted pieces because of course they were. A fucking cardinal. Of Cardinal, Casey. So I feel like
you're
they're
gonna break that thing. Where'd you get it?
This?
Yeah, where's that?
So
Where's that from?
I don't steal things, but I stole this from my hotel in Amsterdam because of the
Marfa.
So in Marfa, I'm part of the telephone DAO, and this was in my hotel, and I took a picture of it and I sent it to. Don't fucking go tell people. I know this is broad. Don't be a fucking rat. So I stole this thing. I said I'm gonna take it, and I did, and it's a working phone. And I just try to block Casey whenever he's calling it. But that's the story. Who gives a shit? If you want to tell on me, go ahead. You're a fucking rat.
Right, here we go.
So,
Wait, this is the hotel from Marfa that you stole this from? Yeah, take his ass out right now.
oh shit. So
Take his ass out.
So low key, I think there's a romance here. I think there's a low key romantic relationship with. I don't know.
us?
Is it? No.
Oh, okay,
I'm talking
okay.
about these Bitcoin letters, guys.
Okay,
Stop
got you,
talking
got you.
about theft from Amsterdam. It was Amsterdam, by the way,
Okay,
not
sorry.
Marfa. So, doesn't matter. So, Bitcoin letters. There's that last one. If you scroll down on the Bitcoin letters .art, I think it is bitcoinletters.com. I don't know. Go to Isabel's site or Twitter page. There's something interesting going on,
Easter egg
and
in there.
there's clearly a meta going on. Like, who is this wild man? Is it Raktoshi? I mean, I know he was working with Casey at launch under a different name. I just love the storytelling, the narrative. I mean, like,
Right, is it Casey? Is it, I guess, one of these collectors like Mixala and, you know what I mean? Like one of these early, I don't know.
I mean, this
I need
is
to read it, though.
Ordinal romance. Like this,
Yeah.
like, have we had Ordinal Like, is there any Ordinal fucking going on? I'm sorry. Ordinal, back to Ordinal romance. Like, I'm so dirty. I'm sorry. I just don't give a shit. When you turn a certain age, you just turn it off.
104.
104. I'm 104. I'm a leap year baby. I'm actually 29. So what do you guys think about this?
Over to BitGod.
Is there some sort of romance? Yeah, I think so. Like I think like anytime there's letters, there's storytelling, there's potential for some sort of romance. I think storytelling and like letters are already somewhat romantic.
Yeah.
Right. Like not many people do that anymore.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think that there's definitely the possibility. I'll have to read the last one.
Have you had an ordinal romance?
I have not. No.
Not yet. No,
I'm a virgin, so no.
no digital boners.
No.
You have a wife, so you have a.
My ordinal
you have the
romances
best.
every day.
You have the best. This
I'm
guy
in
has.
love with the girl ordinals.
Dude, this guy should make a videotape how to have a wife and a kid and both be in art and ordinals and fucking travel together and have a great relationship. And a lot of you have gone through divorces. I'm very sorry. Some divorces are actually happy for some people, but the fact is this guy has it on control. So I love story and narrative. Who's doing it right? Yeah. Like which projects are doing it right?
D's nuts.
D's nuts.
Okay, I know we all.
You know what's hilarious is I actually got after OG General, we already talked about him.
Yeah.
But after he went through and swept the floor and bought a bunch of D's nuts.
These nuts.
A couple different messages like, dude, I can't get over the lore on Ordinals. Mm-hmm. And of course, like you talked about that a bunch. I've read it.
Dude,
like,
Nakeeb fucking.
You guys know what you're talking about.
Nakeeb
was one of those people.
Nakeeb cried, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't tell him to read it. It's fucking there. It's there. It's been there since the beginning, and it continues to grow. The thing is that I feel like most lore, most narrative, because story and narrative, I think are two different things. So when people are like they do a one line of like a sentence of story, and it's like it seems like it's built on hype cycles. It's connecting to the next tweet. That's fine. That's gamified storytelling, but I feel like it's all hype driven.
Yeah.
I think it has no fucking legs long term. I just don't think so at all. And I think like making deep fucking lore, and your lore doesn't have to be deep and evoke emotional tears or anything like that. It could be funny. It's all like pain.
Funny, different. Right?
Dude,
exciting, unique.
Dude, the best comedy comes from pain.
Yeah.
The best comedy comes from pain, and if you can do comedy, you can do drama. That's a reverse engineer way to think about it. This is fact. I'm not the only person that thinks about this.
No,
take it from
not
me.
only that, I would say like the difference sort of piece to it, right? Like we've all seen stories time and time again, but what you guys have done is really interesting, and I think also something else that's different is of course Mulan's art.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Good transition.
So Mulan, Nicole Liu.
Yep.
She did Abstract Ordinals. That was came out earlier this year. Generative art. Beautiful artist. Loves anime, manga, if I'm not mistaken.
Manga, yeah.
She has a dynamic mint coming up.
Yes.
It's already inscribed. The SAT numbers, this is the key here. The SAT numbers were used as the seed for the gen art creation on Bitcoin. I mean, talk about a female boner here. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. I think it's a really original way of using the properties of Bitcoin that you can't get on any other chain. So I think it's beautiful.
I think it's amazing. I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed like chatting with Began about is just about like unique things that have to do with Bitcoin and how that sort of like ties into art. And I think that this is one of the first showcases of that, and hope that like more and more artists or sort of creatives come up with stuff like this that's unique to Bitcoin that you cannot replicate on ETH.
Claro que sí, papi. This is now a Spanish show. Listen, the Papi God. Listen, papito. So you were saying before, not today, but we're friends, so I know a lot of the conversations we have. You were saying, and other people have said this too, like utilizing the fundamentals of the uniqueness of the chain and how it works to do the art. Let it dance with that instead of just slapping the art. Like you can certainly do that. You can certainly make anything you want art-wise and just slap it on there. But this is the sheer effect of what you were talking about earlier. Like you're actually dancing with the chain to produce those images.
Totally.
And as far as SAT numbers,
new constraints, right?
Yeah.
that we haven't seen before, and that's really important.
I think that's a sexy thing. Like, these are the rule in this relationship. You have to act accordingly.
Totally.
And then do the art.
I mean, that's what Bitcoin is, right? It's a set of rules. I mean, that's what the majority of blockchains are. It's a set of rules that you have to sort of confine with.
We have the Bitcoin paper, but like Began has for his spaces, he has like these 10 rules of like, don't fucking give flowers, get to the meat of the matter. Nobody cares about your name. Like these rules,
100%.
I think we need Bitcoin rules about.
We
need
don't have
that
them
on
yet.
this show too.
We don't have Bitcoin rules. Maybe even Began or BitBegan God, BitBegan bot. Please, let's come up with some rules. Not today. We can do it on the fly.
Pineapple pizza.
So Mulan, we're looking forward to this, and we thank you. She's kind of hooked up some certain communities, but like not just giving them away, like people that care. We love the App Store Ordinals too.
Yep.
So listen,
IRL, we got IRL stuff coming up soon.
IRL stuff.
Basel, we've talked about a bunch.
So we're all going to Basel.
What about Basel?
Okay.
We talked about that a bunch, but then we got something coming up on Saturday.
We do. Saturday, we got a meetup in West Hollywood. Thanks, sir. So 4 p.m. till about 7, 8 p.m. Free tickets, free drinks, free ordinals, free everything.
Yeah.
Let me let me redo that in an American accent. Okay, this Saturday, art department in WeHo in Los Angeles, 4:20 onward. It should end about 7. It may go longer, like it did last week. It's a great neighborhood right behind Sunset Boulevard. A lot of foot traffic. Digital art on the walls, all ordinal based, and it's just a great community. If you're here, just please fucking message us and go to Satribut's tweet. You'll see it on his pinned tweet or maybe down there.
Yeah.
Whatever. We saw some of you last week. It's going to be a growing thing, and we're never going to stop doing it. We're going to be doing more events there and probably around the city. Other than that, let's fucking end this show. There's an earthquake. There's a fucking earthquake. Casey, suck a dick. Casey, suck a dick. Anyway, thank you so much, BeganBot. We love